You bite into meat and it fights back. Not with teeth, with muscle fibers, with toughness. Your jaw aches before your stomach even gets a chance. Now imagine this is not a strange diet challenge. This is every meal of your life. No roasted roots, no warm broth, no toasted seeds, no fish sizzling beside a fire. Just raw food, cold food, chewy food, and a body that must somehow turn it into enough energy to stay alive. What if ancient humans never learned to cook? At first, the question sounds simple. You might picture your ancestors eating berries, cracking nuts, tearing meat, and doing fine. After all other animals survive without cooking. Chimpanzees do not roast dinner. Wolves do not boil bones. Gorillas do not make soup. So why would humans be different? The answer is hidden inside your face. Your teeth are small compared with many other primates. Your jaw muscles are not built like heavy grinding machines. Your gut is shorter than you would expect for an animal your size. And your brain is strangely expensive. It burns a huge amount of energy every day, even when you are lying still. That is the problem. Your body is not just a raw food machine. Your body is a cooked food machine. Harvard primatologist Richard Wrangham made this argument famous in his cooking hypothesis. A hypothesis is a testable explanation. His idea was that cooking did not simply make food taste better, cooking helped make humans human. Because fire changes food before it ever enters your mouth. It softens tough plant fibers. It loosens starches, which are energy-rich plant molecules. It breaks down proteins, the building blocks of muscle and tissue. It kills many parasites and microbes. And most importantly, it lets your body get more calories from the same bite. Calories are not just numbers on a modern food label. For your ancestors, calories were heat movement, pregnancy, milk, immune, defense, walking, thinking, surviving. So take cooking away. What happens first? Your day gets longer, much longer. A chimpanzee can spend many hours chewing. A gorilla can spend much of the day processing leaves and stems with its mouth and gut. But your ancestors, once they depended on cooked food, gained time. Cooked food became faster to chew, easier to swallow, less costly to digest. Without cooking, that time returns like a debt. You wake in the morning and start searching. Roots are not soft orange pieces on a plate. They are dirty, fibrous, bitter, sometimes toxic, and often locked behind skin's bark or hard tissue. Meat is not a steak. It is elastic muscle. It is tendon. It is risk. It may contain bacteria. It may contain parasites. It may already be claimed by lions, hyenas, vultures, or other humans. You chew and chew and chew. Your jaw becomes your kitchen. Your teeth become your tools. Your stomach becomes the fire you never invented. But it is not enough. In 2011, Rachel Carmody and Richard Wrangham published research showing that cooked meat delivered more usable energy than raw meat in feeding experiments with mice. They also found similar effects with cooked sweet potato. The point was not that mice are humans. The point was that heat changes the energy your body can actually use. Raw food may contain calories. But calories trapped inside tough cells are not the same as calories your body can reach. That difference matters. Imagine two ancient children eating the same amount of food. One gets roasted tubers softened by fire. The other gets raw tubers that resist digestion. One gets more energy for growth. One falls behind. Over many generations, tiny differences like that become enormous. Evolution works through tiny advantages repeated until they are no longer tiny. So without cooking, childhood changes. Your ancestors' children would need more time to feed, mothers would need more food to support pregnancy and breastfeeding, grandmothers, hunters, gatherers, and older siblings would all be pulled into a harsher energy economy where every mouthful takes more effort and gives less back. Could a human-like brain still evolve under those conditions? That is where the story becomes uncomfortable. Your brain is hungry. It is soft-folded and expensive. It does not lift spears, it does not carry water, it does not chew, but it demands fuel every second. In modern humans, the brain uses about 1/5 of resting energy, even though it is only a small part of body weight. For a raw-feeding ape, that kind of brain is a luxury. For a cooking human, it becomes possible. This does not mean fire magically created intelligence in one dramatic moment. Evolution is never that tidy. Climate tools, meat-eating social cooperation walking on two legs, and changing landscapes all mattered. But cooking may have been one of the great energy switches. It turned the outside world into food your inside world could afford. Now move the story into deep time. At Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, researchers found microscopic evidence of ash and burned bone deep inside the cave dating to around 1 million years ago. That matters because material deep in a cave is harder to explain as an accidental wildfire blowing across the landscape. It suggests early humans were using fire in a controlled way. Not necessarily like a modern campfire, not necessarily every night, but enough to leave a trace. Then at Gesher Beno Yaakov in Israel, researchers studied ancient fish remains from about 780,000 years ago. The fish teeth showed signs of heating at low temperatures, not simply being burned in a blaze. This is important because burned is not the same as cooked. Burned can mean accident. Cooked suggests control. A fish beside heat. A meal. A choice. So when you ask what happens if ancient humans never learned to cook, you are not removing one tool. You are removing a whole way of being alive. There is no warm center of camp at night. No smoke drifting above a shelter. No roasted marrow bones cracked open beside children. No roots softened for elders with worn teeth. No shared evening meal where stories, warnings, gossip, and teaching gather around flame. And that may be as important as the food itself. Anthropologist Polly Wiessner studied fire-lit conversations among the Ishu-Chiju-Hwansi people of southern Africa and found that nighttime talk often shifted towards stories, social bonds, and imagination. This does not prove ancient humans spoke exactly the same way, but it shows something powerful. Fire changes time. Daylight is for work. Firelight can become a social world. Without cooking, fire may still exist as warmth or protection if it is discovered, but never used for food. But if your ancestors never learned to cook, the hearth never becomes the same kind of human center. Food does not gather people in the same way. Evening does not become as rich. Teaching may still happen, but the rhythm changes. The tribe is colder. The night is longer. The mouth is busier. And the body is poorer. Now picture your life in this alternate Stone Age. You are not a modern person dropped into a camping trip. You are born into it. Your jaw may be larger. Your teeth may be stronger. Your gut may be longer. Your body may evolve away from the delicate cooked food shape you have now. But there is a trade. A bigger digestive system costs energy. Heavy chewing costs time. Long feeding hours limit travel, tool-making, childcare, and social learning. A world without cooking might still produce clever humans, but perhaps not humans like you. Maybe your ancestors remain more ape-like for longer. Maybe brains grow more slowly. Maybe childhood changes because long childhood is expensive. A child who needs years of feeding, protection, and teaching requires a rich energy supply and a cooperative group. Cooking helps turn difficult foods into shareable foods. It lets adults feed children softer meals. It lets elders survive with weaker teeth. It makes leftovers safer for a little longer. Remove cooking and the weakest bodies pay first. The child with a fever, the pregnant mother, the old hunter with broken molars, the injured gatherer who cannot chew tough meat for hours. In the real world, cooking is kindness disguised as technology. It is not just flame-touching food. It is food becoming easier for someone else. But there is a twist. If ancient humans never learned to cook, they might also avoid some modern problems. Cooking opened the door to softer, richer, easier energy. Later, agriculture and industrial food pushed that idea far beyond fire-roasted roots. Today, your food can be crushed, refined, sweetened, fried, packaged, and engineered until your body absorbs energy with almost no effort. The ancient advantage became a modern trap. Your body still loves easy calories because easy calories once meant survival. Your brain still rewards soft, warm, energy-dense food because for your ancestors that was rare and precious. But now the world can surround you with foods that are easier than anything a prehistoric fire ever made. That is the modern mirror. You do not crave cooked food because you are weak. You crave it because your body remembers a revolution. A roasted tuber was once a breakthrough. A cooked fish was once a survival upgrade. A warm meal was once the difference between losing energy and gaining it between chewing all day and having time to think, walk, teach, and tell stories. So what if ancient humans never learned to cook? You might not be here in this form. Your face might be heavier, your gut might be larger, your days might be swallowed by chewing, your nights might be darker, your brain might be smaller or at least more expensive to maintain in a world that gives it less fuel. And the strangest part is this: the first great human technology may not have been a spear. It may not have been a cave painting. It may not have been a word. It may have been dinner made softer by heat, a root in ash, a fish near coals, a piece of meat that finally stopped fighting back. You bite into meat and it does not fight back anymore. That is the quiet miracle your ancestors placed in your mouth.